Yeah, that's what happens. So if, say, like I message James and he's not online, he'll get an email and text message notification, depending on his notification settings.
It's those small things that just go so far when building a marketplace. I love that. Hello, No Code Ops. Phil here, and today I am joined by Paris, who's the co-founder of Tangram. Paris, welcome to the Aha Moment Demo Show.
Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here.
So excited to have you. Tangram is a marketplace builder, marketplace infrastructure. Marketplaces are so close to my heart. I've built marketplaces. I've been a part of marketplaces. I've felt the pain of doing everything from scratch. So I'm so excited to learn more. So what gave y'all the idea for Tangram? How did it come about?
Yeah, so we actually started a marketplace ourselves in the beauty and wellness space in a specific vertical, but our long-term vision was always to help bring services online. So like right now, 97% of all services are bought and sold completely offline, no technical intermediary, not even like a Venmo payment. And that seems like an obvious thing that's going to change over time. And one of the biggest places is like mom and pop service businesses, or even like large enterprise businesses where, you know, all this is happening on pen and paper. So how can we translate that into the digital world? And I think a concept that comes up naturally is marketplaces. It's essentially just a place where people meet to exchange goods or services or knowledge. And that can come up in any business. So we started as a marketplace ourselves, but we actually pivoted during our time in the Techstars Startup Accelerator to be more of an infrastructure to help other businesses kind of build out these marketplace type technology inside of their businesses. And that could be a job board, that could be a directory of users or experts that you want to match together to meet and maybe like sell services in I don't know, cybersecurity or
Sure.
any industry. But we found that in order to get an MVP like that into the market, on average, people were spending $24,000 in 4 months, and we thought we could do a lot better. And so with Tangram, you can get that MVP, custom designed, custom functionality for free during the free trial, and then decide if you want to move forward, at which point it's just $150 per month.
Got it. And before we jump in, to my understanding, Tangram works directly with Webflow. So people will be using Webflow for certain components, and then Tangram is kind of the infrastructure, portal, payments, backend, all of that. So they don't have to have the Frankenstein stack of using like 40 different tools with Webflow to make something like this work, but still be very custom. Is that a good summation?
Perfectly said. Exactly.
Wow.
And if you don't want to use Webflow, you also can use like whatever other front end tool you want, or custom code even.
Oh, amazing. So you can use something like Bubble or Card or, you know, whatever is right. So awesome. Cool. So let's jump in. I'd love to see like an aha moment for a user.
Sure.
And as you're pulling up screen share, like I think for our audience, like this is so relevant because a lot of the operators in our space often talk to me about wanting to build another line of business in their, you know, in their existing company. So things like building an expert marketplace with the, you know, the software company that they work with. So this is so relevant. Okay, so here we are. We're in a marketplace.
So this is like an event marketplace if you're looking to find users or vendors for maybe catering or photography. But this same kind of technology, like you mentioned, could really be used for anything. But in this case, let's just say I'm looking for a photographer for a wedding.
Yep.
This is all custom designed in Webflow on the front end. And I'll just search for photographer.
And this is like
data.
Anyone can search without necessarily needing to log in. They can look at the profiles, reviews, everything like that.
Yeah, and you can even manage putting up like sign up walls or like hiding certain pages if you don't want them to be public, or even like specific data, which is super important for different industries. So it looks like I found a photographer, James, and if I wanted to maybe request a quote with him or view his gallery, I could do that on the profile page. And when you hit the request a quote button, it takes you to the payment page in Tangram. So Tangram manages like the checkout process and makes sure that all the fields you would need to make that transaction happen show up.
Amazing.
We also have in-app chat capabilities if for some reason you need to like talk with the vendor before you want to schedule a meeting together or go through with purchasing something.
And can this like notify via email if someone's not logged in for whatever reason?
Yeah, that's what happens. So if, say, like I message James and he's not online, he'll get an email and text message notification, depending on his notification settings.
It's those small things that just go so far when building a marketplace. I love that. So cool. And so can you show us, like, for someone building this out, right? What this looks like on the back end when somebody's in Webflow, like where does Webflow, like, you know, let's say they're using Webflow as the main builder here. Where does Tangram start? Where does Webflow stop?
Yes. So let's say you create custom fields in Tangram tied to the vendor. That's what we call inputs here. And you can see like on the profile page we were just on, we had portfolio link, maybe like gallery, that kind of thing.
Yep.
If you want to connect those inputs and those custom fields in Webflow, all you have to do is click edit and grab this field in the top right, then move over to Tangram and paste that class into Webflow. So you can see it's Tangram, TAC user, TAC, and then that field that I just copied, that ID. And now when we publish the site, it's automatically going to feed in the correct portfolio link for that user. And that's really all that's to it from the backend perspective of connecting the data. And if you're familiar with Webflow, you can just continue to design as you normally would in Webflow.
So awesome. And I guess this removes the need for things like MemberStack and Stripe and because you can manage it all in one place.
Exactly.
Awesome. And let me ask you this big question I have is, so like I see how flexible this can be. What's the difference between something like Tangram and like an all-in-one marketplace builder, something like ShareTribe, say?
Yes. So Tangram is, our bread and butter is service marketplaces. So anything to do with matching people, like job matching marketplaces, user directories, or anything that requires like complex, per hour booking and scheduling, which could even be like Airbnb rentals. That's our bread and butter. So we are very, very focused on bringing the service economy online and giving you all the components you would need to kind of create your custom booking flow, if that makes sense, instead of just being like a multi-vendor marketplace for products like eBay or Etsy or Amazon.
Awesome. And then let's say someone, you know, like, okay, let's say, okay, I've built an Airtable base with some basic, you know, expert information. I've grabbed each of their Calendly links and put that in, and then I exposed it to my users via like Softer or, you know, Stacker or something like that. That it makes like a beautiful version of like that Airtable that I put, for instance, like switchboard.com/like experts, and I can like, that is now a Softer or a Pori or a Stacker driven page that's connected to Airtable, right? At what point do I make the switch from like needing something basic like that to being like, I need to use something like Tangram? Like, when do I make that switch?
When you need to integrate and scale a lot of users is one major case. If you need scheduling, that can be a real pain to integrate into potentially like Softer or complex monetization. So marketplaces, maybe you want to charge subscriptions as well as commissions for varying user types. Setting that up in no code right now is like a train wreck. Yep, so we make it super duper simple to provide all of the potential monetization models that you could use for a marketplace or a directory, and just have that in a single page. So you don't have to worry about Frankensteining a bunch of tools together or getting your Stripe API key to connect to Airtable via Zapier.
Been there also. You just brought up so much PTSD. So on that note, how can people find out more, Paris, about Tangram?
Tangram.co, not .com, .co.
.co, cool. Well, so great meeting with you. Thanks so much for sharing, and looking forward to staying in touch.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.